Happy Super Bowl Sunday. It's time to get you covered with a plethora of props just in time for the big game. Brock, who's there? It's Purdy, and he's pretty good. Can the Niners finally capture that elusive 6th Lombardi trophy with Mr. Irrelevant under center?
Or will Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs make sparks fly and establish the last great American dynasty with back-to-back titles?
We're talking all that and more on this splendid Super Bowl Sunday from Blacksburg. I'm Giovanni, joined alongside the spread savant himself, Mr. Raza Umerani. Boy, is it so good to be back here with you, my friend.
It is an absolute treat to be back up here on this desk with you, my brother. We got the big game tonight, Super Bowl LVIII between the Chiefs and the 49ers, a rematch of Super Bowl LIV. It should be a great one. And we've got our favorite picks and props for the big game. And hey, with it being in Sin City tonight in Vegas, it's personal. It's time to show Vegas who's boss.
Give me my theme music. To the Death Star in Vegas in the desert we go with the two teams that were projected to be here from the very beginning. Let's open things up by taking a look at these two outstanding defenses, Raza.
Yeah, last year's over hit with ease, with KC and Philly combining for 73 points. But that was the first Super Bowl to go over in 5 years. Funnily enough, in the history of the big game, 28 games have gone over and 28 games have gone under. So this might just be a coin flip.
Is it though? Kansas City has given up the 4th fewest points per game in a postseason since 2000, and I don't need to remind you that they played at Buffalo and at Baltimore. The Chiefs were also second in the league in points and yards allowed in the regular season. On the flip side, San Francisco was right behind them with the 3rd best scoring defense in the entire National Football League. Points should be a commodity tonight.
Yeah, and for that, we'd like the total to go under tonight. Hey, defense wins championships, and both of these defenses will be on full display.
Book it, baby. Give us the under at 47.5.
Next up, we've got a trio of anytime touchdown scorers, starting with the lock of all locks, Christian Jackson McCaffrey. CMC has scored in all but 5 of San Francisco's games this season, including a pair of rushing touchdowns in each playoff game thus far. Like we said, this is going to be a defensive showdown, so the Niners will heavily rely on their MVP, and he'll find himself in the end zone sure enough, especially after winning Offensive Player of the Year this week, Gio.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Next up, we had to go with the lover himself, Travis Kelce. Trav was haunted earlier this year, but he has been Superman in the playoffs with an electric touch. He's finally out of the woods this postseason with 3 touchdowns in as many games. Not to mention, the star tight end has scored 2 of the 3 Super Bowls that he has played in. Simply put, in the big game, Travis and the end zone know each other all too well.
10-minute version. Next up is Patrick Mahomes' backfield mate Isaiah Pacheco. The former Rutgers Scarlet Knight found the end zone last year against Philadelphia, and his role has only increased since. He's got a touchdown in every game this postseason, and all but 1 game the Chiefs have played since Thanksgiving. So it only makes sense for the trend to continue here. You can take these 3 scoring machines to the bank. Book it, baby! McCaffrey, Kelce, and Pacheco, anytime touchdown score.
Speaking of Pacheco, my man is being severely underappreciated by the odds makers in Vegas this year. They like Isaiah to snag 67.5 yards on the ground, and we're here to tell you that the Niners have struggled to defend the run this postseason, and Pacheco has at least a 70-piece in the tank.
Yeah, I think struggling is a generous term, Gio. Uncharacteristically, the Niners have given up 159 yards per game on the ground in the playoffs thus far. Now sure, they face the likes of Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, and Jahmyr Gibbs, but our man IP is no slouch. Personally, I like him to go for a bill in this one, because if the Chiefs want to win, they'll need to heavily rely on number 10.
Book it, baby! Isaiah Pacheco, rushing yards over 67.5.
That brings us to our intermission and the Got It Covered halftime show. We've got a triad of non-game related props to pique your interest, starting with Usher, baby, and his opening song of the halftime show being OMG.
I'm going to be honest, we don't have any evidence to support this whatsoever. It's really just a gut feeling type of thing. The thought process here was that you open with a banger while still saving, of course, his biggest song for the climax of the show.
Keeping with the theme of singers, the incomparable Reba McEntire is performing the national anthem before kickoff, and we think Vegas' line of her rendition being 90.5 seconds long is laughable. You already know the Queen of Country is going to take her sweet time singing that song.
And that brings us to the real main event, the coin toss. Give us tails because, well, why not? As the great Brian Fantana once said, 60% of the time it works, every time.
That smells like pure gasoline. Book it, baby. Usher opens with OMG, Reba goes over, and the coin lands on tails.
All right, let's reel this thing back into football a little bit. We've spent all this time talking about rushing yards, touchdown scores, and defenses, but we haven't shown any love to the biggest storyline of them all, the quarterbacks. We've got a pair of passing props that won't fail to throw you for a loop.
That's right. We like both Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy to go under their passing yardage lines. That's 262.5 for Pat and 246.5 for Brock. We've talked about how great these defenses are ad nauseum, so I'll try not to sound like a broken record here. But these two secondaries are as legit as they come, and we think both offenses will rely more on their rushing than their passing. And as great as Patrick Mahomes is, he only averages 246 passing yards per game in the Super Bowl. And do we really think Brock Purdy is going to outshine the best quarterback of this generation? Don't think so.
At the end of the day, it really won't matter because Kadarius can't catch the ball. Book it, baby. Mahomes under 262.5 and Purdy under 246.5.
Last but certainly not least, we've got to pick this game itself. So let's wrap this up with our official prediction for Super Bowl LVIII.
Will Patrick Mahomes win his third Super Bowl ring, or will Mr. Irrelevant join Montana and Young as the only quarterbacks in Niners history to hoist a Lombardi? Look, if history has taught us two things, it is this. Don't bet against Tom Brady, and don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. The last time I checked, TB12 ain't walking through that door, brother.
My brother, you make a great point. And for some reason, Vegas keeps doubting Mahomes, and he always shuts them up. Not only have they won their last 3 playoff games as underdogs, including last year's Super Bowl against the Eagles, and Mahomes' first Super Bowl against the 49ers, but Patrick is 9-3 all-time as an underdog with, get this, a 10-1-1 record against the spread. And if that's not enough, just hold on to your seats for this one. Number 15 ranks first all-time in postseason winning percentage, total yards per game, touchdown to interception ratio, passer rating, and completion percentage. So yeah, we're going to choose to back that guy on Sunday night.
Sheesh! Calm him down over there, Mr. Statistician. The final nail in the coffin for me, look, it's easy. The Chiefs are never out of a game, no matter what the deficit is. Kansas City has not allowed more than 7 points in a second half, Raza, since week 13 this season. If you're playing it safe, take the Chiefs to cover at +2.5. But here at Got It Covered, we believe that scared money don't make money, baby. Book it, baby. Chiefs money line at +102.
Well, that does it for our Super Bowl selection, so let's recap this thing. We're taking the under at 47.5.
Give us anytime touchdown scores in McCaffrey, Kelsey, and Pacheco.
Rolling with Isaiah, give us the former Scarlet Knight to hit the over on the ground.
At the half, we're hammering OMG, the anthem over, and tails at the flip of a coin.
We're letting it rip on the under with both quarterbacks going under on their passing yards.
And finally, we're taking the Chiefs to win it all in Vegas.
Yes, sir.
That does it for our Super Bowl special here at Got It Covered.
It was an absolute pleasure to run it back, and we hope you enjoy the festivities tonight. Until the fall, my friend.
Until the autumn leaves fall indeed.
Hey, until then, when they call, you be sure to tell them, we got it covered.